into a garden made of quiet light, where every flower seems to hold a name. The air is still but never empty here. It feels like something sacred never fades. Stone paths guide my trembling feet through stories written in the wind. I don't hear voices, but I understand what silence tries to say within. The trees stand tall like patient memories, watching over everything we've lost. And I begin to feel the weight of love that came at any cost. Nothing here is truly gone, it only changes form. I can feel it in my breath, like something being born. This is the garden of unbroken light, where even broken hearts survive. In every shadow, every breath, something refuses to die. I see reflections in the morning dew, like fragments of a distant time. Faces I will never know, still somehow feel like mine. The wind carries soft reminders of courage I cannot ignore. It moves through me like a promise that something still is worth fighting for. I sit down on the quiet ground and let the moment settle in. For once I don't try to escape, I let the silence begin. Maybe strength is not a sound, but something deep and still, living quietly inside against all human will. This is the garden of unbroken light, where even broken hearts survive. In every shadow, every breath, something refuses to die. If time could speak, it wouldn't cry, it would simply stay and watch, holding every fragile moment like a flame that never stops. This is the garden of unbroken light. I carry it inside my life, and even when I fall apart, it keeps me still alive. I walk slowly through the quiet garden path. Stone by stone, the past is still alive. The wind moves gently between tall trees, like it is whispering forgotten names. Every step I take feels heavier than air, but also lighter than my own thoughts. I see the marks time could not erase, etched into silence, deep and wide. The sky above is soft and gray, like it is holding back its tears. No sound breaks this sacred place, only memories breathing slowly here. I stop beside a field of stillness, and I feel something inside me change. Not sadness, not fear, but something deeper, like understanding without words. I don't need to speak out loud. This place already knows my heart. Every breath becomes a prayer, every silence becomes a light. Where the silence stands so still, I hear the world refusing to break. In this quiet sacred hill, I learn how much a heart can take, and even pain becomes something soft, something I can finally hold. I imagine voices from another time, walking these same empty paths. Young hearts full of trembling hope, standing where I stand today. The air feels heavier with meaning, like stories pressed into the ground. I close my eyes and almost see them, not as ghosts, but as light. The trees do not move, yet they speak in a language only hearts understand. I feel their courage inside my chest, like it was always part of me. I sit down where the wind slows and let the world pass above me. For once I do not run from silence, I let it completely surround me. Maybe healing doesn't shout, maybe it is this quiet air, holding everything I am without asking me to change. Where the silence stands so still, I hear the world refusing to break. In this quiet sacred hill, I learn how much a heart can take, and even sorrow starts to fade into something like peace. If I could speak to the past right now, I would not ask for answers. I would just say I remember you and stay in silence beside you. No ending is truly gone, no story disappears completely. It all becomes part of the ground and rises again as light. Where the silence stands so still, I hear the world refusing to break. In this quiet sacred hill, I learn how to stay, not run away. And everything I thought I lost was never truly gone. It was only becoming light. The wind moves through the empty path, like it remembers every step I take. I feel it brush against my skin, as if it knows what's at stake. The trees are bending slightly low, not from weight but from time, and every leaf begins to sound like a quiet ancient rhyme. I close my eyes and listen close to something I can't explain. It feels like names I've never said are falling down like rain. Nothing here is truly lost, it only changes place. Inside the air, inside the light, I see a hidden face. The wind knows your name tonight. It carries everything I cannot as if the past is not behind, but walking by my side. The air grows heavy, then it softens, like breathing through the sky. And I begin to understand that nothing really dies. I hear the distant echoes call from places I can't see, but somehow they are guiding me to where I'm meant to be. Maybe time is not a line, but something we return. And in the wind I hear again everything I've learned. Not as an ending, but a way for everything to breathe. The wind knows your name tonight, and I will never be the same, because even in the silence now, it whispers every name. The sky is soft above my head tonight, like it is holding every broken light. I walk beneath its gentle weight and feel it resonate. The world feels far but also near, like everything is still right here, and I am floating in between what is and what has been. The air is slow, it feels like breath, not life, not death, just rest, a place where everything becomes something that feels less. I don't need to understand what I cannot see. I only need to feel the sky breathing over me. Soft sky over us tonight, holding every fading light, and in its endless quiet blue, I find something true. The stars don't speak, but they are loud in ways I cannot doubt. They tell me everything will stay, even when it fades away. I close my eyes and drift inside a place I cannot hide, where even silence feels like home, where I am not alone. The sky becomes my only thought, and everything I'm not slowly turns into the air that's always there. Maybe peace is not a place, but something in the air that stays with us when everything feels like despair. Soft sky over us tonight, I let it hold traces left behind. I walk slowly through the sound of everything that used to feel like mine. The sky is heavy, but it's gentle in its way, like it understands my quiet heart. And every drop that hits the ground feels like a brand new start. I don't resist the weight of falling skies. I let it move right through. Because even in the darkest weather, something still feels true. Nothing stays the same forever. Even pain will change its face. And in the rain I learned to hold a softer kind of grace. Still blooming after rain. Even when I break again, I find a way to stay alive inside the pouring pain. The flowers bend but never fall completely down. They learn to grow through storms. And I begin to understand, this is how we are formed. The world feels softer when it cries, like it is finally real. And every wound becomes a place where something starts to heal. I close my eyes and let it come. No need to fight the night, because even broken skies can teach what it means to feel alright. Maybe strength is not to stand, but to still remain inside the sound of everything we cannot explain. Still blooming after rain, still standing through the endless change. Even when I lose myself, I somehow stay the same. If I dissolve into the storm, I will not be afraid, because even falling apart is just another way. Still blooming after rain, I carry every drop of pain and turn it slowly into light again, again. Again, again.
I walk through stone like it remembers me. Every step echoes history. The ground is cold but not unkind. It carries stories left behind. I hear no voices but I feel them near, like shadows made of light and fear. They don't ask me to understand, just to quietly stand. The wind moves slow between the names, like time refusing to explain. I feel my heartbeat sync with it, like I was always part of this. Nothing here is truly gone, it only changes place inside the silence of the world. There is a human face. Stone garden, don't forget us now. about the lives once lived, the dreams that never got to breathe. Yet somehow still I feel them grow beneath the roots. Beneath I sit where time begins to fade, and let the silence take its shape. There is no need for spoken truth when everything is fate. The air is heavy but it holds me like something I can trust. Not everything must be alive to still become enough. Maybe memory is not gone, it only changes form. And in its quiet, lasting breath, it keeps the world warm. Stone garden, don't forget us now. We are still standing somehow inside the cracks of every wall. We never really fall. Not asking for reply, just knowing that the ones before are somewhere in the sky. Stone garden, I remember now. We are still standing somehow, and every broken piece of time is still alive somehow.
창밖엔 비가 내리고 있어. 내 마음도 잠시 젖어드는 Raindrops falling, washing the pain. 하지만 나는 멈추지 않아. Beyond the rain, the sun will shine. 용기라는 무지개를 찾아가. Keep on moving, don't look behind. 밝은 내일이 나를 기다려. 차가운 공기 속을 뚫고서 따뜻한 희망을 다시 채워가. It's time to grow, let it all go. 진정한 나를 만날 시간이야. Beyond the rain, the sun will shine. 용기라는 무지개를 찾아가. Keep on moving, don't look behind. 밝은 내일이 나를 기다려. 구름 뒤엔 항상 별이 있어. 너의 노력은 헛되지 않아. Look at the light, holding on tight. Everything is going to be alright. Beyond the rain, the sun will shine. 용기라는 무지개를 찾아가. Keep on moving, don't look behind. 밝은 내일이 나를 기다려. Rain is fading, hope is waiting. Life is creating, no more debating. Sun is rising, joy is surprising. I am rising.
We walked through fire without a name, and still we never became the same. But something in us stayed alive, refusing to divide. The world may try to break the sound, but we are still around, not as the past they try to erase, but something time cannot replace.
We carry every wound we earned, and every lesson learned, not as pain, but as a proof that we endured.
We are not what they tried to break, we are what remains, something deeper than the night, something that sustains. We are still here, we are still whole,
carrying light inside our soul,
and nothing can erase the fact
that we come back. The silence tried to bury us, but we learned how to speak, not in anger, not in fear, but in something deep.
we built ourselves from broken time, and every fragile line
Became a path we walk again, beyond what we define.
the sky above remembers too what we went through, and every breath becomes a sign that we are true.
Maybe survival is a song that never stops to play. It lives inside the broken night and never fades away.
We are still here, we are still strong,
Even when everything feels wrong,
we are the voice that carries on.
beyond the dawn.
If everything should disappear, we will still remain,
Not as what we were before, but something changed.
we are still here,
We are still light,
we are the reason for the night,
and even when the world
turns gray, we stay.
This place remembers everything I cannot say. It holds the echoes of another day. The ground is soft with stories deep that never learned to sleep. I walk through memories carved in air, like something always waiting there, and every breath I take becomes a name I almost share. The silence here is not empty, it is full of life, a different kind of truth that cuts through time. Nothing is forgotten, nothing disappears. It only changes shape and stays for years. This is a place that never forgets. It holds every step I've taken yet, and in its quiet, endless frame, it knows my name. The wind moves through the till it fills my chest. Because in this place I finally know what it means to rest. Maybe memory is alive in ways we cannot see. It lives inside the air we breathe and everything we be. This is a place that never forgets. It keeps the light that never sets. And even in the darkest night, it stays alive. If I ever leave this ground, it will not leave me. Because some places live forever inside memory. This is a place that never forgets, and I am part of what it kept forever in its silent breath, and never lets me forget. I look up to a sky that never speaks aloud, yet somehow tells me everything I need. The clouds move slow like passing thoughts that never fully leave. I stand beneath this endless dome, feeling smaller yet more whole. Like I am part of something larger that I will never control. The air is cold but never cruel. It simply holds me where I am, and I begin to understand what silence really can. No words are needed here, no answers must be found. Just breathing in and out becomes the only sound. I breathe the sky that never lies, holding every hidden cry in its vast and endless blue. I find a softer truth. I remember everything I lost, but it no longer cuts like before. It feels like echoes in the wind that gently pass through me and soar. The world below keeps moving fast, but I am standing still. And for the first time I accept I don't need to be healed. I just need to exist like this, inside this open space where nothing asks me to become anything I cannot face. Maybe healing is the air that doesn't ask for names. It simply lets me breathe and never feels ashamed. I breathe the sky that never lies, holding every hidden cry in its vast and endless blue. I find a softer truth. If I dissolve into the wind, I will not be quiet self survive inside a place too wide to hold, yet somehow still alive. They told me to stay silent, to keep my voice inside. But silence never killed the truth, it only learned to hide. I walk through empty echoes of what they try to break, but every crack inside my heart is something they can't take. The wind is full of stories that were never meant to fall, but even broken voices rise when silence starts to call. I don't need permission to exist or breathe. What they try to bury still grows underneath. This is my whisper of resistance, soft but it won't fade away. Even in the quiet distance, I will still say I carry every fragment of the nights I had to fight. Not every war is loud, some survive inside. The world may try to shape me into something small, but I am made of something that refuses to fall. I step into the morning light with fire in my tone and realize I was never meant to walk alone. Strength is not destruction, it is staying whole, even when the world demands you lose your soul. This is my whisper of resistance, but it carries like a storm. Even in the smallest sound, I am reborn. If I disappear tomorrow, my voice will still remain, not as anger but as proof that I broke the chain. This is my whisper of resistance, and it will never die, because even in the quietest breath, I learn to rise.
There is a fire deep inside my chest tonight. It doesn't burn, but it refuses to die. I carry it through every empty street, like something I cannot deny. The world feels colder than I remember it, but something in me still remains, a quiet force beneath my skin that never explains. I walk through shadows of my former self, and none of them can speak, but I can feel them watching me from somewhere underneath. This is not destruction, this is not the end. This is something deeper I can't comprehend. Quiet flame within my soul, it never lets me lose control. Even when I fall apart, it holds me whole. had to silence every part of me that felt too loud to keep. But even silence has a sound that never sleeps. The fire doesn't ask for praise, it simply stays alive. And in its quiet, constant glow, I learn how to survive. I stop pretending I am broken now, because I am more than pain. I am something still becoming through everything I've gained. Maybe strength is not to fight, but to endure the dark and keep a steady, quiet light burning in the heart. Quiet flame within my soul, it never lets me lose control. Even when the night is long, it makes me whole. If I ever disappear, this fire will remain, not as a wound, but as a proof that I was here. Dark, it softly glows. This garden holds a quiet kind of light that does not burn but feels just right. I walk through it like I belong to something ancient, soft and strong. The flowers lean into the air as if they know I am there. And everything I cannot speak becomes something I can keep. The ground is warm beneath my feet, like memory made complete. And I begin to understand, this is not just land. It is a place inside of me that never fades away, a silent part of everything that teaches me to stay. This is the garden of quiet light, where everything becomes alright, and even pain turns into grace. Inside this place, I see the echoes of my life, both shadow and the light, and none of it feels like regret, only something I accept. The wind moves gently through my soul and makes me feel whole. Not perfect, not untouched by time, but still aligned. I sit and let the world dissolve, no need to solve, because even letting go becomes a glow. Maybe peace is not the end, but something we return, a place where every broken part finally can learn. This is the garden of quiet light, where even darkness learns.
Because what I found inside this place is my own face. This is the garden of quiet light, and I will carry it through life. And even when I disappear, it stays here. The sun is falling slowly down on streets that never make a sound. I walk alone but not afraid inside this golden shade. The light touches every scar, like it knows exactly who we are. And for a moment everything feels less like suffering. No need to fight the fading day, no need to run away. Even endings have their voice in a quiet way. Sunset over quiet courage, softly learning how to stay. Not every strength is loud, some just don't fade away. I think about the things I lost and what they truly cost, but somehow pain begins to feel like something almost real. The world is turning orange now, and I don't question how. It simply is, and I am too, just breathing through. Maybe courage doesn't shout, it simply does not break. It stays inside the falling light for its own sake. Sunset over quiet courage, softly learning how to stay. Not every strength is loud, some just don't fade away. If I could hold this fading sky, I would not try to stop it, because even disappearing light still knows how to exist. Sunset over quiet courage, I will carry you in me. Even when the night arrives, you are what I'll still be. I stand between the earth and everything I feel, where silence bends into something real. The ground beneath me holds my weight, like
it is learning how to wait. The sky above is wide and slow, like it remembers all I know. And I am caught between the two, not knowing what to do. But somehow in this in-between, I find a softer place where everything I've ever lost becomes a kind of grace. Nothing ends completely, nothing fades away. It only changes where it lives and how it stays. Between earth and memory, I find what I cannot see, and everything I thought was gone is still inside of me. The past is not a distant thing. It breathes inside the air. It moves through everything I touch without me being aware. I walk through time without a map, but somehow I am home, because even in uncertainty I am not alone. I hear the voices of the wind, not loud but always near, reminding me that everything I lost is still here. Maybe life is not a line but something layered deep, where everything we think is gone is something we still keep. Between earth and memory, I carry what I used to be, and every step I take becomes a part of me. If time could speak, it wouldn't, and it would just transform into the quiet space between the calm before the storm.